2006 fantasy film, Pan's Labyrinth, directed by the Mexican filmmaker Guillermo del Toro, is set in fascist-ruled Spain, much like his 2001 picture The Devil's Backbone, both exploring the gruesome setting and reality of the Spanish Civil War. In specific, Pan's Labyrinth has a very clear backdrop of war-torn rural Spain, in which Francisco Franco's newly constructed fascist army continues to rule and torment the people of Spain. And this is exactly where the story starts. Through the eyes of the main heroine, Ophelia, played by Ivana Bequero, a little girl enthralled by the fairy tale she reads, is forced to stay under the authority of her new stepfather, Captain Vidal, played by Sergei Lopez. Ophelia uses her books to escape from the reality of the world, but after stumbling upon a hidden labyrinth, she enters her own twisted fable consisting of spine-chilling monsters and fairy tale-esque challenges to complete. Just a disclaimer that although it is a film about children and fairy tales, it is not a kids' film. Do not be mistaken by the fantasy fairy tale genre. From the grotesque monsters to extra detailed violence, this is enough to give even adults nightmares. So, since watching this film a few years ago, I've literally not been able to stop raving about how remarkable and flawless this film is. Not only the original screenplay, but the cinematography and all the other aspects that bring this film to life. Navarro's outstanding cinematography, combined with Caballero's exceptional shapes and colour palettes, creates an eerie and captivating display of excellence. Alongside these two main ingredients, the film wouldn't be complete without the hauntingly beautiful score composed by Navarrete, which underlies each pivotal segment of the film, completing the trifecta of artistry. Just listen to this score. The euphoric and sweet-sounding score blends with the dystopian ruin of fascist Spain to construct a perfect juxtaposition, which ties into the contrast of reality and fantasy within the two realms. This predominant theme of reality versus fantasy really shows off Del Toro's imagination and artistic brilliance. Reality existing at the midpoint of the bloodiest conflict Western Europe has seen since World War I in 1918, to the fantasy aspect exclusively seen through the innocent eyes of Ophelia, fabricating her own escapism, making her oblivious to the exterior world of broken Spain. And you may wonder, with such a contrast between two worlds, how does the film blend those components into one body? And this is where my Del Toro fandom takes over. With his visually orientated style of directing, the techniques he employs to amalgamate this film into one is done aesthetically with the use of transitions. These transitions are immaculate, advancing from scene to scene with darkness, trees or bricks that transitions out of the military base and into the labyrinth. This creates the idea of the opposites between the two worlds, but that they exist in the same frame, situating the audience in a sense of skepticism throughout the film, whether the fantasy elements exist in conjunction with reality within the same world. And this level of detail and complexity is not only shown using transitions, but also in the visually stunning monsters that Del Toro originates. I absolutely love the fact that the performance and visuals of the monsters are not suffocated by CGI, creating the effect of looking like things you would actually see in your own nightmares. From the pale man's droopy skin to the grot and mucus oozing from the frog's mouth. It really brings the horror element, which not many other films can pull off in this genre. The Faun 2, with its moss-riddled tree figure and devilish horns, not only displays the creative depth Del Toro has in his mind, but also how one character can connect so much mystery into the narrative. As he guides Ophelia through a trilogy of tasks, he seems at once compassionate and disdainful, virtuous and deceitful. He stays enigmatic throughout the whole film, unable to work out whether his intentions are malicious or kind-hearted. This makes excruciating tension through the whole film, but specifically each time Ophelia is presented with a task by the Faun. I must also give credit to the incredible Doug Jones, who plays the pivotal roles of the Faun and the Pale Man. The extra long-limbed man really gives an excellent portrayal of these two non-human creatures, which still to this day gives me chills. The actor and contortionist even went as far as learning Spanish for this role, which shows his ongoing dedication to his work, but also Del Toro's films. A little fun fact is that he actually starred in many of his other works, but most recognised, he's played Abe Sapien in Hellboy, and the Amphibian Man in The Shape of Water. And to be honest, I love to see the collaboration between director and actor in films. It really gives the sense of community and family about making films. Del Toro has really made his own trademark within the industry for these sublime creations. And if you really love the aesthetics of these monsters, I do strongly recommend his other works, like The Shape of Water, Mimic and The Hellboys, which showcases his signature touch on films. Pan's Labyrinth, the 3-time Oscar-winning film, deserves a grade of A star. The monsters, the excellent all-round performances by the whole cast, the beauty of the narrative, I just cannot recommend this film enough. It's such a transforming experience, and if you haven't watched it already, what are you waiting for? Thank you for watching this video. Any support and feedback would be much appreciated. If you haven't already, like and subscribe for future film reviews and film-related content. Have a nice day.